Welcome to the Rad Dad Redemption Podcast. Here's your hosts, Drew and Dex.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Rad Dad Redemption Masters Special.
It's a beautiful day here in Georgia. Welcome to Augusta.
Augusta basement in Okotoks.
Yeah, Augusta farts. That's what's blowing through this fucking dump right now. Hey, man, that's we're on. What are we on? 3.0 starting this fucking podcast.
A little background.
We're morons.
We were like talking, like hyping up the episode, like kind of giving like an agenda, so to speak. We had started recording. We were giving an agenda, and we had two very different agendas. Like we had two totally different concepts of how this episode was going to take place.
Yeah, we hadn't even talked about it.
Yeah, and so like.
But in my mind, it had taken shape, and I was like, "We're so often on the same page." We were not,
no,
at all.
So we're on the same page.
Now we understand.
So how this is gonna work?
Yeah, lay it on me, baby.
We are going to record this. It's Wednesday night. Masters, they're teeing off tomorrow morning, early a.m.
This is the pre-show.
We're gonna record. Talk about the Masters a little bit, give some picks and previews. We're gonna hard stop. And then we're going to pick it up on Sunday. And so that'll be the back half of the episode is like what actually happened. And so people can hear us. Nobody's hit a ball yet. And then at the end, see how horribly wrong or right we were.
Yeah, we can contrast ourselves. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
You'll also get to see like kind of like a werewolf transformation because like tonight's a school night, a work night. And then like Masters Sunday, it's a full moon for me. It might actually be a real full moon. I'm going to get daytime buckled. Okay. It's going to be great. I'm bringing my kids over, by the way.
Okay.
Probably should have told you that. Megan's working, so.
Dump them with my wife.
Yeah. Hoover family's coming over. We're watching the Masters, and we're going to see if any of these picks actually made it. Some of the storylines, because I know you're actually a well-read golf fan and a Masters fan. So
I'm also like wearing my full Magnolia fit.
Where can you get one of those? It's so fucking sick.
Currently available on www.bahalife.style.
And I think if I had to pick a single item of merchandise, that is the one. The jacket, the fit,
yeah,
the joggers. It's hype.
Head to toe Magnolia. I think we've talked about it on the podcast before. I think we went golfing last year. Weather was a little nicer. And I wore this on the golf course, and I was getting absolutely roasted by just some random dudes.
So, because we're going to talk about a couple cliche golf moments, some tropes, and that's one of them, is getting paired up with an absolute trash can Billy. He was ripping you, but he objectively sucked.
He was terrible at golf. I hope that he went home and was like, the guy in the flower print all over outfit destroyed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who likes my outfit now? You fucking idiot. Motherfucker.
Also, there's like 4 days a year that this is even relevant to wear.
Yeah, I bought the jacket and I bought the XL, but it's like a China XL. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
There's no racist connotation
Trump
there.
increased their tariffs. We can say whatever we want.
Yeah, okay, fuck yeah. And I don't it was made there. But I think like I find this often. Quick aside, I'll buy XL and it's often the import products that I'm like, okay, over here, that's not XL.
That's a medium.
Yeah. We're bigger here. I am bigger. I don't know how many times I've bought XL underwear at Costco, and it's like, it's fucking Lycra.
You know what's a weird vibe? Because I also wear an XL. We're a couple of husky boys.
Yeah.
We're when you order an XL and it comes in huge. It's like you're wearing a fucking 4-person tent, and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on with these sizes?
We got to unify the
This
XLs.
is XL for sure.
We're going to get it done. We're going to get that done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the next election, whoever comes out this week with a policy platform to standardize sizes, they got my vote.
Oh my God. Forget the economy. Forget tariffs. Okay.
I don't care if it's like the furthest like right-wing
Diversify
party.
the energy
like,
market. I don't need any of that. First guy that comes up and he's like, I'm going to make XL the same everywhere. I'm like,
and also, we're going to call it small. What do you wear? A small?
We're going to change it to slim, sexy, huge dick. That's my size. That's what I prefer. Masters, welcome to the golf show.
The golf show.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you... I obviously love the Masters, judging by what I'm wearing. I look like somebody tore their grandma's curtains off.
You look great.
Yeah, thank you. What do you love about the Masters? Because it's just like there's this air. I mean, it is the first major of the year and all that kind of stuff, so it's got all this hype. But like, what do you like about it?
So I think for me, it really comes down to, and I think it was 2019, the year that Tiger won his most recent.
Yeah.
I would have put myself in the camp of being someone who would pay attention to really sick golf highlights. Who's the best right now? Wow, that's an incredible shot. But I had never sat down and watched a tournament in its entirety. And I'm not sure what led to it. It probably was the Tiger Woods timeline of him like, he's back, he's going to play. And I was like, I'll check this out. And that was the first time I sat and did the 4-day experience. And I absolutely fell in love. It is reality TV. It is elite level athleticism, and it plays out right in front of you, and you can't fucking call it. Like, honestly, whoever says that golf is boring, they honestly have not given it a chance and just sat down and watched the entire thing, because I was riveted. And ever since then, it translated. Sometimes, I used to find it with football. I'd watch a really good game, and then I'd go like, oh, I love football, I'm going to watch the NFL. And then I'd watch another game. I watch a Thursday nighter.
There's like a 10-3, and you're
and I don't give a fuck about this. This sucks. Football is not cool. Since then, every time I've watched golf, I'm like, no, I love this. This is a hit. I want to watch DeChambeau fucking drive a par 4. I get hyped for it, and like I said, I think it's the story element to it. They're very much characters. About their history. About them personally. It doesn't feel like another sport where you're just watching. I'm sure your favorite player on your chosen hockey club, right? You know a lot about them. Golf's a little different. Like, you read up about these guys, where they come up, what are the other tournaments they've won, what are their strong suits? Okay, what's the element to their game? As a video gamer, it's like one of those octagons, and everyone's got like this different style. They bring a totally different approach to the game. Their swings are different. I love it. It's fucking, it's an RPG. I think it's the best sport out there to watch.
Yeah. And I think for people who've played golf, even if you're not an avid golfer, understanding how hard the game of golf is, and then watching these guys do it at like an exceedingly high level is just, it blows your mind. Even if you're good, like as an amateur, you cannot even fathom what these guys accomplish.
And it comes across as a little pretentious, because, I'll be watching with Megan or whoever. Maybe I've never even watched golf with Megan, but people will say this is so boring. And I'm like, well, you are stupid. I'm sorry, I don't say that to my wife, but I'm like, well, you don't understand what's happening here. You don't understand how difficult this game is and the caliber of this athlete and what they're doing. This is essentially perfection. And in order to win this tournament against this field of athletes, they have to play perfect. Mm-hmm. And even then, even if they don't, there in itself is a story. Remember that tournament where 3 under took it? What happened? What were the conditions like?
Yeah.
Like, it's, oof. I got chills.
I think it's like one of the most truly individual sports, and there are a ton of individual sports out there. Like, you can, marathon running and that kind of stuff. It is one of those individual sports where there's still differences, right? Like, if you're running a marathon, for example, it's like,
yes, I know about that.
All right, for
when I'm running my
for people
marathons.
that are like me, if you're running a 2K,
thank you.
It is basically like your preparation, how ready your body is that day, but you're all running the same course, and it's not like you can randomly hit a slice and all of a sudden end up on a different course or something, right? Like, everybody's running the same course. Golf is like that, except there's so many small variables where we could tee off from the same spot with the same intention, but it's not like running from point A to point B. So many different things can happen between that and how they navigate that. And it's really them versus the course, but of course they're trying to beat the field. That's what I love about golf.
Them versus the course. There was a moment in the Masters in 2019. I can. It's like an acid trip. It's burned into my brain. And it's Molinari, it's Koepka, and it's Woods. And I think it's 16 over water. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. Dex is the absolute.
I'm trying to remember. I think that is, yeah.
But they basically said before everyone teed off, because it was tight, it was close. They said, this is Tiger's backyard. Here's what he's going to do. Like, this will be his play. He's gonna go for most of the green. He's gonna take it wide. Everyone else is gonna try to stick it, and like you go in the water in this hole, and like it's a huge fuck up.
Yeah.
And I think Molinari and Koepka went in the water, and it was just so crazy to watch that, to know the people calling the event, they had that much knowledge, and that Tiger's experience, just having played that many Masters. He knew exactly what to do. I don't know. I thought that was so cool. I remember watching that, being like, "Whoa, yeah, I'm ready to dedicate my life to this."
The
I'm gonna
Masters,
go ahead and shoot a 120 right now.
the Masters is incredible in the sense that it is one of those tournaments where like the experience, the amount of times you played that course and knowing how to navigate it actually plays into how well you do on the course. I think, and somebody's probably going to correct me and like message us or something, but I think nobody has ever won it their first time playing at Augusta. Never happened. Now, maybe somebody's going to be like, well, in 1942, like, back on his reprieve from fighting in Europe.
Yeah.
Two Shoe Billy did it. And, but
Two Shoe Billy sounds like someone who would not have been allowed to play at Augusta in the 40s,
Yeah.
or 50s, 60s, 70s, probably well into the 80s.
But yeah, so it's like it's one of those things where like experience generally does play a huge role, and then just the Masters has like all this I don't know, history and like tradition about it. That's sometimes golf tradition can be a little stuffy, and there is certainly an element of that at the Masters. But it's kind of like it's cool that they've stuck to that and that tradition. And like today they were playing the family round, right? With I don't know, I think I sent you the reel. I don't know if you saw it yet, but Rory's daughter hit a like 20-foot putt.
I did see that. Yeah.
She just like taps it, but it shows how fast the greens are.
The greens, it's just
like barely rolling,
moving.
and then it just hits the hill and goes in.
That was my exact thought. I was like, oh, this fucking greens are so dialed, so tight. Well, and one thing I know about the Masters, and I guarantee I learned it from you. This is like a liar fact. Like I wouldn't say it unless it was true. In today's era, you have golfers that have such an epic long ball. You have technology that just provides so much oomph when these dudes are doing it out there. This course predates that.
Yeah.
And so you can't go out there and just rely on being a beefcake. Like these are, for all intents and purposes, pretty short yardage in terms of a major.
Yeah.
Right?
It is a shorter course. It's a placement course. You've got to put it in the right spot.
It's skill. It is.
It's even crazy. You'll see guys, they bomb a drive and they're in the fairway, and like on most other courses, if you hit a long drive and you're in the fairway, you're golden. It's like, oh, he's on the left. That's gonna hurt him. And it's like, what? He just hit a 320-yard drive in the fairway. Yeah.
If I'm in the fairway, I'm like, oh yeah. If I know where my ball is, I'm like, oh yeah, baby.
Yeah. And so the Masters is like, no, it's like you need to place this hole. They've got to be on the right-hand side on the top of that hill, and some of them are going to hit a 5-wood because they don't want to go down the hill. And it's like, yeah, you need to be dialed with your placement and know your way around that course.
Man, I don't even know what this episode was going to be, but right now it's just us
circle jerking about the Masters.
I'm getting hyped up. I'm ready to call in sick for work tomorrow just to watch it all.
Just put it on for the kids at school. Call it history class.
Yeah, honestly, if I could stream it. There's a whole bunch of stuff with like rights. I don't know. We can't even watch Netflix. I could probably just do it. I'll do it. All right.
Twist your rubber arm.
That's what, to Mississippi. I am drinking this delicious transfusion.
Mm-hmm, me too.
I didn't know about this drink. This is brand new to me last summer.
Yeah. And I had heard of them. I'd never had one. And
correct me if I'm wrong. It's transfusion because I feel like, it's the golf trip drink. You get so polluted, you're toast, and you have one or two of these.
Perks you up a little bit.
Yeah, it feels like you just got a blood bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's grape, it's ginger ale.
It's very refreshing.
Oh my God.
It's really good, like especially a hot day. Your sun's beating down. You're well on your way to shooting your worst round of the summer. Get a couple of these in you.
Yep.
Feeling good.
Which is a trick because it's not.
It doesn't make you better.
Alcohol.
It makes you feel better.
And it does dehydrate you, and you will hate your life because they go down so smooth.
They do. Like this is my first sip of alcohol since Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's going down easy.
Yeah, you swore it off, and you're like, wait, is that a transfusion?
Might head into the Deerfoot when we're done recording here.
Oh my God. Okay, sick day. I'm putting it in. So, okay, I got to ask. You are the consummate professional, and I don't want to put you on the spot. So maybe don't feel like you have to answer for everything. But is there a storyline to follow this year? Is there someone who is expected to win? Like what's happening? What should we pay attention to? Who won last year? What's their fucking dinner menu? Like, give me a little bit of depth.
Oh, I didn't even look at. I saw they were posting photos from the dinner menu. It was Scheffler that won last year. I want to Google it because they're just having their dinner tonight.
And he's expected to do well this year too. He's still on top.
He is the favorite. He's the
Okay.
betting favorite. Okay.
Which we'll talk about a little bit.
Yeah. So his master dinner. So Appy's cheeseburger sliders, awesome. Firecracker shrimp and Papa Chef's, as in Scheffler, not like Chef Boyardee.
Okay.
Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites, which probably is just Chef Boyardee.
Brutal. Is he fucking 4? That's the stupidest menu I've ever fucking heard.
That's just the Appy's. That's just
okay.
the Appy's. I'd have some firecracker shrimp. Okay.
All right, guys. This year we're going to Montana's Bar and Grill.
First course.
Everyone gets kids'
Oh god,
menu.
this is gonna play right into what you just said. First course, Texas style chili.
What an asshole.
Yeah, I mean it should be Baja Blast off
It should
chili.
be Baja Blast.
And then main course, your choice of this is so wordy. Just say a fucking ribeye, wood-fired cowboy ribeye, or blackened redfish.
Huh.
I mean, honestly, all that sounds great. But if I was going to like Augusta National to have a meal,
That's goofball, man.
I think I want more than chili.
Okay, I already hope Scheffler bombs just
And
based
then
on his
for
menu.
for dessert, a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie. So he has 4.
Yeah, that sucks. And everyone gets a sparkler, and there's crayons on the table for you to color your placemat. What a loser, dude. Oh, God, Chuck E. Cheese. Okay. Usually it's really cool. Usually it's like a really impressive thing, and it has to do with like the history and often culture of the previous year's winner.
Yeah, like I remember when Matsuyama won, it was like a very Japanese kind of flair.
Yeah.
When Rom won a few years back, it was a lot of Spanish flair.
There's dickheads out here with
He's
chili
just-
cheese fries,
He's just like
hot dogs.
he's just like you said, Montana's. He just like ordered out from Montana's.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hope he loses. There you go. I don't care if he's ranked number 1.
So I mean, yeah, there's that kind of storyline where he's obviously number 1 best golfer of the last few years. Had an incredible year that was only bested by Tiger back in his prime. Rory is on a heater this year, and there's always been that talk last few years. When's he going to get his next major? Because he had a couple really early, and he hasn't had one since.
He's my boy.
And he's been so close.
He is my boy.
And so Rory's on a heater. He won Pebble Beach. He won the Players. So yeah, who knows? Rory's looking good. So he's second favorite.
He's grown up too. There was a lot of stuff early on after he'd won a bunch. He was doing the opposite. He was losing a bunch and not handling it well, and he kind of came across a bit of a prima donna.
Yeah, a little bit of a hothead.
A hothead baby. You're like, oh fuck this guy. Maybe he's not as good as everyone
He's
says.
throwing clubs in the lake and stuff like that. Yeah.
And that's funny when I do it, but when I'm watching this Irish kid do it, I'm like, hey, you should have some decorum. I'm trying to get drunk.
This is the PGA Tour.
I'm trying to get drunk and watch you here. Okay, any I've already used the word dickhead today, but any live golfers, are they allowed to come around?
Yeah. So Rom is playing because the Masters is invite, right? It's not a PGA.
That's
event.
That's right. Okay.
So Rom is playing. DeChambeau's going to be there. Koepka's going to be there. Neiman's going to be there. And there's a few others. I think I saw Dustin Johnson was there playing with Koepka today. Mickelson's there. So yeah, there's quite a few live guys that have won on tour recently enough or won a major recently enough that they get invites, basically in perpetuity. I saw Vijay Singh withdrew.
Oh,
but he was going to be there.
Just cause.
Mike Weir's playing.
That's hilarious, right? Like you win, you get to go.
Yeah. And why wouldn't you? Like even if you're just like not playing pro golf anymore, like still show up and play around at Augusta. Why not?
Oh, dude. Like if Daly had ever won, like he's just pulling his camper van up, just having 18 darts on the first 9. I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great storyline.
Yeah, if I ever won the Masters, yeah, I'd play forever. You'd have to wheel me out there like Dan from your comedy night. Gordon Lightfoot, oxygen tank. I'm going. That's sick. Okay. So betting.
Yes.
Now, you've won some big money betting on golf.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it comes down to, you have to pick the odds on favorites. You gotta get the order but it's also the surprise. It's those underdogs. That's where your bet's successful.
Well, so yeah, there's kind of two ways to bet on golf, right? So like where I won the big money last year and what bought us this studio equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah, thanks again.
Was DraftKings. So you set up a lineup and, you've got to stay within a salary cap. So each guy has an associated salary. The favorites obviously have higher salaries. So you gotta pick some guys that are obviously not favorites. You can't just pick the top 6 golfers to make your team. It won't work within the salary. So this year, I've got some of those top guys, and then you're trying to find some cheaper guys, little Canadian content. I'm big on Nick Taylor this year.
Nick Taylor, Taylor Pendrith,
Yep.
Corey Connors,
Yep.
and then I guess Mike Weir is also there.
Mike Weir is also attending. I think I was talking to my brother-in-law Matt.
I will not be betting on that guy
So Matt threw in a $10 bet on Mike Weir just for like funsies
to make the cut.
No, to win. But it pays out like $48,000 or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could be eating my words.
Was-
You could hear it on this fucking episode. How wrong
It's gonna
I
be
am.
so funny if Mike Weir makes a crazy run. And
Okay, here's my first call. Mike Weir doesn't make the cut.
I think it's probably a safe call.
Yeah, pretty safe.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, a little Canadian content. So I've got the best odds. Obviously, I just love. Everyone can hear the
Hear the ice in the cup.
sandbagger
Yeah.
transfusion going down. I'm gonna take a little sippy here.
And I've also got this plastic cup from Grateful Dead.
We're gonna just become deadheads.
Yeah.
Okay, that's our new thing.
Yeah.
All right, best odds: Scheffler, McIlroy, Morikawa, and Ram. And I think even as a fringe enthusiast, I probably could have called that.
Yeah, I mean, they're the biggest names in golf right now. Morikawa, obviously, he had an Open win a couple years back, but he's been right on it. Like a few majors, he's been top 3, top 5. So he's kind of. It almost feels like he's due for one, but McIlroy is the one that's like, man, he's got to get one at some point, especially with how much he's winning lately.
And you mentioned Liv, so you've got past champs that are Liv guys now, like Mickelson, Watson, Dustin Johnson. Is that his real name? It's an
It's
M?
Johnson,
Yeah, that's a typo.
married to Wayne Gretzky's daughter.
Oh, Paulina?
Yeah.
God, she is so hot. We've talked about this before. I don't do that. I'm not a looker. I honestly I'm not a looker. I look like shit. But I very rarely on Instagram. I don't follow good-looking women or models. Not into it. Okay.
It's
I'm more of a pregnant Sonic meme kind of fucking guy.
yeah. Okay, now you're talking
Now
about
you're talking Johnson. What an idiot! I wrote that down wrong. But she is hot. Yeah.
She's pretty hot. Yeah.
Okay, so he already won.
He's won the game of life.
He's won the game of life. She's probably a bitch. And Patrick Reed, also former champ, coming in from Liv.
Which he's the biggest wiener in the field. I hate that guy.
Really?
So, oh yeah.
Why?
He's been caught cheating, adjusting his line, this bunker, and moving.
Is that to do with the sand?
Yeah.
That he Yeah. That's my word. I always say
And,
objective. He
was
a fucking cheater.
He was known in college for being a cheater. And he's just kind of a wiener and and he's not cool. Sometimes people are they're the bad boy of the sport. He's just a dick. Anyway, that's my feelings on Patrick Reed.
All right. Can you give me a prediction?
Man, I'm pulling for McIlroy. I feel like he's playing such good golf, but it's one of those things where I feel like I've said that for every major for the last 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I like Morikawa. Some kind of sleeper guys like Tommy Fleetwood. It seems to always be around it. And he's been playing good golf. And Shane Lowry.
So in terms of picks for our bets, because as soon as we pause this halfway show, I'm going to be like, Dex, who do I put money on? We have bet before on guys like Fitzpatrick and Zalatoris, like the younger guns. Is there anyone from kind of that crowd that is having a good year?
I don't know if they're quite as I wouldn't call them necessarily young, but they are newer on tour. Like Sahith Theegala, he was on Full Swing.
Okay, yeah, I didn't like that show. I couldn't get into it.
Okay, he's really good. Ashke Bhatia.
Oh yeah, he's on my list.
Yeah, I hope I said that name right. He's been winning some tournaments last year and really coming up.
Athana Mensopoulos.
Yeah. The former HS CEO is playing at the Masters. And Aaron Rye,
Okay.
Yeah. So some of those guys, like, they're like middle of the pack guys, but I mean, it's one of those things like any given Sunday.
So what do? You put your 5 together, $10, $20, and then just submit
Would you
a
like
couple?
me to? Would you like me to read out some of my bets?
Yeah. Oh, have you already placed them?
I have.
Oh, of course. I'm doing it as soon as we pause here.
Where's my bets here? Okay. So like I said, I made some lineups on DraftKings. I won't go through that because I've got a few of them, and it's all just with that. I'm trying to like pick a few like top 2 and then some middle guys that I think will do well. But I'm also trying to diversify.
Yeah.
Because it's tournaments, right?
And
Okay.
pay attention, you fucks, because this is going to be. We're gonna find out if Dex is a bajillionaire after this.
Yeah. Well, none of these bets are big enough to make me a bajillionaire, but maybe fun night out.
You take us to Montana's.
Yeah.
Run into Scheffler.
Get some sliders and some chili.
What a weird.
So I did a parlay, and so the nice thing about betting golf is you don't necessarily just have to pick the winner. So I did all these guys I picked for top 10 finish, which is reasonable, I think. Of course, you get worse odds, but that's why I parlayed it. So I got Rory, Morikawa, and Lowry all top 10 finish. So all 3 of them would have to finish in the top 10 to win the bet.
Okay.
But I only put $5 on that. Pays out $100. I did a bet on Tommy Fleetwood to win it outright. I only did $3.
Oh,
Wins 120.
a lot of confidence there.
Well, it wins 120, but like the odds, he's like plus 3,500 to win.
Okay.
So you don't need to put on. That's what I like about golf betting. You can pick a few of your favorite guys and throw $5 or $10 on, and you make pretty good money.
That might be my move.
Yeah.
I think the parlay, I can like I don't know enough. Might just be like, this guy sounds fun.
And then I threw some money on DeChambeau, $5 to win 90 because I think he's the 4th highest right now, 5th highest odds. So yeah, just a few. I might throw in a couple more, but just smaller ones. The DraftKings, I got a few lineups. I got a little more money on it. But
Is there a way on those sites to do like a fuck off bet for like a reasonable amount, like $20, but it's got to be these 5 dudes, or is that like tournament play? Like when you had your big win, because that was a set of 5, and you were like, I think you were 5th overall, 4th overall in the field.
I think I was 3rd. Yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah. And that's what that was, right?
That was DraftKings. So I had a lineup, and in DraftKings they get points based on what they do. So it's like they accrue points for pars, birdies, eagles, that kind of stuff. Streaks of pars,
How
streaks
many
of birdies.
beers they shotgun?
Yeah. And then they lose points for bogeys and doubles and that kind of stuff. And so you want guys that are going to make the cut because then they've got 2 more days to accrue points, right? If the guy misses the cut, he stops accruing points after 2 days. So you had a huge disadvantage. So you want guys that are going to make the cut. And then, of course, you want guys that are going to do well, hopefully finish near the top of the standings. Obviously, that means that they would have gotten more birdies, eagles, whatever.
Is there any, do guys do prop bets in golf? Is like how many times Rory's going to throw his club?
I'm sure there's some markets out there for that kind of stuff. I don't know. Let's look at Bet365 right now. Yeah, they do have a player market. So it's not super exciting, though. It's like you can bet on winning margins. So, will anybody make a hole in one? That's always a fun one.
There's a good one. Okay, yeah.
So will anybody? Let's see what the odds are, because that's a fun one to throw in sometimes.
I'll put money on that.
It's like any player to make a hole in one is like plus 2,000, or you can pick a specific guy to hit a hole in one, and the odds are crazy. Yeah, Mike Weir hole in one plus 8,000.
Oh, there's my bet. There's my bet.
Koepka had a hole in one in his practice round today.
Okay.
You can do match play, so you can actually pick 2 guys, even though they're not golfing together in a match. You can say, well, I'm going to pick McIlroy to beat Scheffler in round 1.
Man, in betting, they just...
They make it so fun.
Do you remember it was like a rally car race, and it was like a prop bet on the guy getting out of his car to go and eat a meat pie? Did you ever see that shit?
I did, and then he like went and did it.
And it was like totally set up. Yeah, I'm going to bet on Mike Weir to not make the cut and eat a meat pie. Okay, so we've heard your bets. We're excited for the Masters.
Yes.
We'll kind of. I don't want to say we're going to cut it off, but that's our lead up. We are thrilled about this tournament.
Hey, do we want to do our golf?
Oh, I'm not cutting the episode.
Oh.
I was doing that.
Well, we weren't on the same page.
I was gonna say we'll follow up.
Okay.
At the later half, but I was gonna say we had talked about doing a bit of a list, a top 10 list.
Okay.
Admittedly, when I went to make my list, because I thought it was gonna be like 5 cliches, 5 tropes that happen in golf, and just kind of get like, yeah, when this happens, this is hilarious. And then I realized I was just writing notes about stuff that drives me fucking nuts.
So like the opposite.
Yeah. So I got a weird list. I'm gonna let you lead this one off.
Well, you kind of already mentioned this, but I was going with some of my favorite golf memories, but some of them are like golf cliches as well.
They were all your memories. When we were texting, I was like, oh, what about this? What about this? You're like, remember that time I had that really sick birdie?
Yeah.
So Dex, this is the top 5 Dex moments.
No. But there is a Dex moment in there, which is hilarious. But
this is going to be where our lists are going to be so different. This is classic us. Yeah.
One of my favorite golf memories is Tiger winning the Masters in 2019. Coming back from that huge injury, and everybody's like, oh, he's coming out to play. And then he like won it, and you're like, oh, fucking Tiger's back. And then he hasn't really done much since, but it was just like one of those crazy moments. And he's always been chasing, Jack Nicklaus's record for most majors won.
What's he need, like 2?
I think he needs 2 more to tie it.
He's pretty banged up.
I think he's got a torn Achilles right now.
Yeah, and he's banging a Trump too.
Is he?
Yeah. You didn't read about that?
No.
Oh my God.
Donald?
Yeah. Yeah. He's into some good stuff.
Is it Trump's daughter, Ivanka?
I'm not going to yuck his yum. Okay, he wants to bang Trump. He can bang Trump.
I want to know which one.
I think
genuinely,
it's Stormy Daniels.
No,
it's not. You're gonna have to do the little jingle here. Who is Tiger Woods currently involved with? It has a very, very deep connection with Trump. Okay, your favorite moment was the Masters. Here's my first one. You
can't even get it out.
Yeah, I know. Just the lists are so different. When you're golfing and you have to tee off in front of the cart girl.
Honestly, that's a classic.
That's a classic. Everyone knows about that, right?
Yeah.
They come up, and sometimes they're courteous. They'll park far away, get behind a shrub, and
but you still know they're watching.
They're watching.
But yeah, like when it's the start of a hole and you just bought a bunch of drinks, and then it's like she's standing there and she doesn't want to like be rude and like be driving while you're hitting.
Oh yeah.
So she's just sitting there watching, and then it's like everybody looks and we're like, okay, who's going first?
I'm a wild card on the course, and I'll hit a lot of found balls. It's kind of like a thing when I golf with my dudes. They'll find shitty balls that no one else would play with, and be like, "Here you go, Hoover. Like, you'll like this." And often they're pink. And I remember teeing off in front of a cart girl with a pink ball and like doing the like hosel straight sideways, like almost like bouncing off the cart tire. Our dude Geese, he won't do it. I've been golfing with him where the cart girl's waiting, and he'll be like, "Nope."
Like you wave her on?
Yeah, you got to move. You got to get out of here. I just absolutely can't do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is. There's something about it. It's just a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because then you know that like she's going to go... No, she's not going to do this because most of them are probably professionals and they've probably seen 8,000 horrible drives that day. But you just have it in the back of your mind that she's going to go back and be like, guess what I just saw? Some idiot.
Yeah, she's going back to fill up the ice. And be like, you're not going to believe.
I just saw the worst golf shot I've ever seen.
So horrible. The opposite. I think the inverse function is true. I think that's an opportunity. I try to approach it like that now. I'm like, I'm going to beef one, Like I'm going to hit it in front of this cart girl, and she's going to be like, here are all these free drinks. Okay? Here's my number. You're
open
a married
bar.
man. Yeah.
Open bar. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's up? What's your next one? What's your next Dex moment?
Okay, this is a Dex moment. One time, so I was playing at Serenity. For anybody that knows Serenity, I believe is the Dancing Bull course. Playing with my brother, my cousin, and my dad, I think. And I hit one, and it was like horrible hook, like onto another hole. And the marshal was, this is like cart girl vibes, but it was the marshal. He was sitting there and he's like, oh, better go help you find that one so you don't slow down the course any further than you already have. So then we go over there and the marshal finds my ball and it's in the middle of this other fairway, but it's trees and there's like a little gap to get back into our fairway. So I was like, okay, I'll make the smart play and I chip it through and the marshal's like, he followed me back to my ball. So I'm lying 2 and I'm like still 160 out on this short par 4. I proceed to hit it and drain it from 160 out in front of the marshal.
Hero shot. Goes in
for a birdie.
No.
And he's like, I don't know if you played any of these Play Golf Calgary courses. they carry these like little chips, like these
You get a
poker
little
chips.
chip. Yeah.
So he's like,
I've never gotten one.
I've gotten a few, but he pulls out like he's like, this is a special one. He's like, and I can be pretty confident you've earned this one today. Gives it to me, and it's like shot of the day.
That's
Poker
sick.
chip.
That's sick.
And I was like, hell yeah. And then I was so excited. I was like, man, I just like pulled that out of the fire. But then I was like, did I just waste a potential like future hole in one? Like used all my luck for a birdie on just a routine par 4.
I've done that a million times. You're like, I'm on another fairway, and then I'm just waiting for the next group to get past before the other guys tee off. And nice guys are just come hit it. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And you go down, duff it 3 times. Yeah, different experience. I didn't get any chips.
Yeah. I mean, that was a highlight for me. But yeah, I've never had a hole in one, and I feel like that was all of my hole in one like good juju I spent on that third shot.
Okay, very sick, very sick. All right, moving right along with my list that in no way, shape, or form reflects yours. Here's another thing that happens in golf: blow up holes.
Yep.
Blow up holes and then taking a mental health double. I don't know how many scores I've entered that are legitimate scores, like all time. And I think the thing is, and I feel like this is going to resonate with some listeners. You're playing bogey golf. You've mixed in a couple pars. Heck, you've even got a birdie. Things are going well. You're breaking 90, and then you shoot a 12.
Yeah.
You lose your fucking tee shot. You try to drop on the edge of the woods because you're like, well, I don't want to cheat too much, and then you lose that ball, or you do the double water, or you get to the green, you go bunker to bunker, and you're like, I just can't on the 15th year go from shooting an 88 to now like I'm at best gonna break 100. So you take the mental health double. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, it's cheating.
Yeah, I mean, so golf is one of those things that like ultimately none of us are playing in the Masters.
No.
It's like we're going out to have fun and like, yeah, I think you want to challenge yourself and be honest with yourself. But yeah, it's like, okay, me writing down a 12, like A, Golf Canada is going to shave that down anyway, right?
Yeah.
And B, like that's going to physically hurt me for the rest of the day. And if you're not playing for money or anything, and you take a mental health double or mental health triple, it is what it is. I don't do it often because I don't have a ton of blow up holes.
Yeah.
And so like when it happens to me, I'm like, well,
Must be nice.
Well, no, but I'm like, I got to be honest with my score, right? Like, yeah, if I take a mental health double and I end up shooting a 79, I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to be almost the other side of it. I'm going to be like, well, I didn't deserve that 79. I'm going to be mad about it.
And that's very interesting because it's a made up thing. We're playing a sport made up by people. You're going out and you're essentially like you're saving face with yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel really bad about blowing up this round, but then you've decidedly cheated and you nailed it. You do that. You say, okay, no, that doesn't count. Or one thing that happens. We have a dude. And I'm gonna call myself out on a few things, so I'm not gonna do the thing where I call other people out. We do have a dude. We kind of have like an unwritten rule where you're allowed a mulligan per 9. It happens, right?
Yep.
You get underneath your tee, you blast something over the highway. You go for it, and it just doesn't work out. 1 per 9's okay, but we have a dude that'll do it kind of just as much as needed, and then at the end of the round, we're like, oh, I shot an 82. And I'm like, did you? And what does that fucking number mean to you? Like, what does that fake made up number of this fucking game filled with amateurs on even recording that into Golf Canada? Like, it's not a reflection of your ability on the course. All it's done is kind of like made you feel better. Weirdly, I don't know. It's very bizarre.
There's a term for that if you are keeping an official. It's a vanity handicap.
Oh, so you can tell people, I'm a 12.
I'm a 12 handicap, and that is better than the average golfer. But if you went out and played by the rules, and you're going to shoot 8-9 strokes higher,
yeah,
it's a vanity handicap.
Have you seen
this?
It's
the opposite of sandbagging.
Have you seen this thing now where if there's 2 teams at the top of a tournament,
yeah,
regardless of the score, the team that comes in and says, yeah, we shot 48, right? There has to be
in a scramble tournament.
Yeah, sorry. Scramble tournament. It's just the top 2 teams or top 3 teams. They all play a 19th together, and everyone watches.
Yeah,
I fucking love that.
I do love that because scrambles are prone to cheating.
100%. You know, like you want that sweater so bad.
Yeah.
You want that.
Well, and
you want
that's
that
why
sleeve of Top Flight so
that's
fucking
why
bad.
courses have like gone to doing draw prizes. Like when we played at Nanton,
Yeah.
they did it right for the prizes. Right? They did. Yeah, they had prizes for best score, but they weren't the best prizes. You won one of the best prizes, in my opinion. It was a draw prize.
I got a sick bag. I still play with that bag.
Yeah, it's a sick bag. And so like that was probably one of the best prizes out there, and it wasn't for actual performance. It was just a draw prize.
I think there has to be a 19th playoff. And I also think that easy enough, vanity or not, you either have a Golf Canada or you get 80% of your self-reported.
Yeah.
So if you come in, you say, yeah, I'm a 35. You're like, okay, well, you're not, and you don't have a Golf Canada. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting way that amateurs play the game.
And golf is a funny sport where it is like so steeped in tradition, and the rule book is like so thick, and ultimately it is like your job as an individual to call yourself on the rules. And so there's so much room for bending things, and there's even things that like we will bend just casually because it's like, well, that doesn't make sense, so that's slowing us down, right? Like I think about, if you're playing and you get a bad lie like on a tree root, it's like, well, no, just move that. Like we're not playing for money. But in the grand scheme of things, like if that was a tournament, like absolutely you have to play it as it lies. But I think everybody listening, if you're playing just with your buddies, if your buddy's sitting on a tree root, you're like, no, move it. You're not trying to like break your clubs today on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, you've heard that stat. Someone says, like the percentage of golfers that can actually break, I think it's 90 or 100. Like it's a really, really small number. But what they're talking about is if you were to play golf as intended.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here right now. I don't know that I ever have. Honestly.
Broken 100?
Fuck you. No.
No, I'm trying to clarify what you're saying. Played it like completely honest.
I have never played a round of 18 and done it by the book. Whether it could be I've got too many clubs in my bag. It could be the old foot wedge, or it could just be like a rule on dropping, right?
Dropping is a big one. So many people hit it OB and play it like red stakes, which I think if they're going to change the rules of golf, that's the first thing that they should change because that makes so much sense. But yeah, so many people, they'll hit it OB, drop it, and they're hitting 3 from the fairway or whatever. But it's like, no, you should actually be hitting 3 from the tee.
I think it's 14 on Turner Valley. Is 14 the par 3? Which one's the big water on the right? It's a par 5. Inconsequential. But, it's very rare that you're in water trouble off the tee box unless you're decks.
That is 14. Yeah.
14, but what'll often happen is I'll lay up to the right and I'll be right in front of the water. And so I think the rule is point of entry dictates your drop. But I'll hit my second shot and I'll hit it 200 yards and it'll go in the water and I'll basically like take it left of drop.
Like a lateral drop.
Like a lateral drop 200 yards. So I'm like, well, I fucking piped that. I absolutely smoked that. It was a dinger.
Yeah.
But point of entry, it's 10 yards in front of me.
And so I
So that's what I'm saying is I've never actually gone through, played 18 and done it like these are the fucking rules and I'm following every one of them.
I would say more often than not I follow the rules, and that's also partially because I like to play tournaments every now and then. So there are rounds where I have played in tournaments and it's like, no, you have to follow the rules.
You're in one. You registered for one.
Yeah, I'm on the wait list though.
Because
they have too many registrations. But yeah, it's the mid-amateur open qualifier.
I was so stoked to be your caddy, and then I read those rules. I'm like, oh God, like, fuck that. Like, I'm going to, but I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a good job of it. But
you were like, oh, this doesn't look fun at all.
There's a lot of stuff I can and can't do.
Yeah.
Like mostly can't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not fun to be a caddy. But yeah, so
They're not
have
gonna
played
like how
those
much
tournaments.
They're not going to like how much I drink and smoke.
I think you could smoke.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlie Hall does it.
Okay, word.
John Daly does it.
Word.
Yeah. But yeah, I've played
A
a few
bong?
tournaments. Yeah, it's probably fine. I played a few tournaments, and so I think just naturally. Also, again, like I'm an 8 handicap.
And then you can feel better. Then you're like, I'm a legitimate 8.
Yeah, well, and I'm an 8 handicap, so there's less chances for me to have to bend the rules, right? Like again, not jerking my own dick. Like I have bad rounds, I have bad holes, whatever. But there's very few opportunities where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna drop like a red stake, even though I went OB, because I'm just like, there you go. So anyway, okay, I feel like we went on that.
All right, let's finish this list up and then we'll get ready for the second half of the show.
Other memory as we're cracking another drink. That perfect moment when you reach perfect beer and weed equilibrium, where your swing just feels like it's just dialed for like 2 holes, and then it starts to fall off again.
Yeah, a hole and a half.
Yeah. It's like, it's such a fleeting moment. It's like this bell curve, and the tip of that bell curve is so thin. It's like once you find that spot, enjoy it, but it's going to be gone very quickly.
And it is a real thing, but it's almost like one of those things where when you become cognizant of it, you've lost it.
Yeah.
As soon as you have realized what's going on, then you're on the end of that bell curve.
Yeah. Yeah. So fleeting.
I wonder if there's ever been someone that has just like Jackie Chan drunken boxing style, like just
They've like got the scientific formula.
They're off on the side, kind of getting the fingers in the mouth, trying to puke up a bit because like I've gone too far. I just need to bring it back a little,
There's got to be somebody that just knows like they're perfect. Like they show up to the course and have 3 in the parking lot.
So that's the thing with golf too. I could say I was talking about how visceral that Masters experience was for me watching and being like, I love this. I've had that moment a million times with golf where I'm on the course, check. Wife's at home with the kids, check. Right? Drinking beers, smoking, having a good time. The sun is shining. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. There's not too much wind. The fucking grass is green. It smells like fresh cut grass. And you're just like, you become hyper aware in the moment. You're like, this is the best thing I could be doing with my time. This is the best thing anyone anywhere
and
could
you're
ever
outside
be doing.
like being active, and like it's just like everything feels like it's perfect.
Yeah, very rarely it's a incredible feeling.
Yeah,
when you get that. Okay, I like that one. Okay, this is where my list started going from being like tropes to like, this is what I don't like. Things. Okay, and this one's also contrived, so I'll just go for it. Group behind you thinking you're slow, but not being able to see the group ahead of you who is actually slow, and everyone can fuck off. Who wants golf to end sooner? That happens all the time. I hate, rate of play is important. It is a massive part of the game, but it's a 4-hour game.
yeah.
I don't get the people who are out there speed golfing, leaning on their clubs. Like, just like we just said, look around you. Look what you're doing. What is the fucking point of hitting onto somebody? And then also, like, yeah, you can assume that there's a group ahead of me that is also dictating this rate of play.
Yeah.
And unless the marshal, who also can often fuck off, comes and tells me that I am being too slow, my group is behind, just let it happen. Just ease into it.
Just enjoy your day. Remember last summer when we were playing and those ladies complained?
They
like,
called the fucking pro shop.
Well, remember they said something to me and I was like, it's a fucking 4-hour round. Like,
yeah, and look at the dudes ahead of us.
Yeah, I was like, they're right there. We just finished at the turn. We finished in 2 hours. Like, I don't know what your issue is. And she was like really upset that I just totally blew her off and was like, fuck off. I said it nicer, but I was like, I don't care about anything you're saying right now. And then she called in the pro shop and he drove out and he's like, well, what's going on? We're like, well, there's the group right there. They're teeing off. We're getting off the green. I don't know what they're complaining about. He's like, yeah, I'll tell them to shut up.
That marshal was cool.
He was cool, yeah.
That marshal was like, I'll deal with him.
Yeah.
Because often that's not the case.
But then we've had that, remember that marshal at Stewart Creek?
Oof.
Yeah. He's like, you guys are 5 minutes behind pace. And we're like, that's fucking nothing. We're like 9 holes in. We're like, we're 5 minutes behind pace after 9 holes. That's nothing.
Our foursome paid $11.50.
Yeah.
And I said that.
1,150 for those keeping score.
Yeah. I'll take that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You can fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah. That gets me getting angry on the golf course. I try as hard. I never get angry at my game. I think there was an era where I was frustrated with my play. I'll have good games, but I'm the golfer right now. Like I'm happy with having good holes, right? I've yet to really put it together for 18, honestly. So I can't be out there like letting it dictate my emotions. I'm just happy to be involved in it. But stuff like that, like the extraneous influence, I'm like, don't do that.
You're ruining my day.
You're ruining my day.
Yeah.
I don't need this right now.
Here's something on my memory list that will make your day.
Oof, lay it home.
Always makes the day. Dogs at the turn.
Dogs at the turn, glizzies?
Yeah.
Okay, that was one of my complaints is when a course has bad glizzies. So I'm right with you.
Remember the like gray one I got at Turner Valley last year, and I like choked it down. But I was like, "This is the fucking worst."
Mystery gliz.
But when you get a good gliz at the turn,
yeah, halfway house gliz. What's that course we always play? Your granddad's favorite course?
St. Eugene's.
St. Eugene's, excellent gliz. I don't know if the gliz is great or just the topping selection, because that's a good thing too. When you get a little banana pepper, you get a little onion, you get relished up. I'm so into it.
So I got to shout out my brother-in-law, Matt, for the second time on this episode.
Shout out Matt. He's got a huge one. He's got a huge old ding dong.
He's a member at a nice private course in Edmonton, Black Hawk.
Wait, what?
Black Hawk.
Gotcha.
They do so they don't have cart girls. They have like mini halfway houses every 3 or 4 holes. And there's a particularly large one after 9 because you don't actually go by the clubhouse. So you go to this little halfway shack. You go in and you can buy your drinks or whatever. But then they have like self-serve candy bar that's just free. And you can just load up a bag of like those 5-cent candies. And they had to put a sign there. So obviously some people are abusing it. It's like, please do not fill up like outside bags to take home. Because like you can imagine somebody comes with like a huge like Ziploc freezer bag and they're just loading it with gummy bears.
30-degree day. Just filling up your black golf bag.
But it was cool to be like, oh, grab a little bag and like throw in some dino sours and some fuzzy peaches. And I was like, that's dialed. That's the difference between a course like Black Hawk.
Yeah, shout out mini Black Hawk houses.
and like, you know, your standard run of the mill course. But that's probably the best like food and bev experience I've ever had at a golf course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll never know. It's a fucking...
If you're ever up in Edmonton, I'd ask him to take you.
No, it's a ritzy course. Actually, I like your brother-in-law. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I would. And I also think, like, for whatever reason, I'm not getting any better at golf, but it'll happen. I golf so much. It has to happen.
There's going to be a tipping point.
There has
Malcolm
to be.
Gladwell wrote about it.
For fuck's sakes. There'll be a day where I'm, like, confident enough to just be like, hey, let's get together. Okay, this one, and I've skipped a lot of my list because it was, like, gripey. This one was almost like a question. Where are you at on Bluetooth speakers on the course?
I don't mind them. But I'm also not the person that's like, I gotta have my Bluetooth speaker. Like I thought about buying that Player Plus speaker that you can like stick on and it shows you the yardage and stuff. And then you can obviously listen to music. And I was like, I don't want to pay like $300 for like a Bluetooth speaker. But I have a cheap one that I'll sometimes bring out. Like, especially if it's like a fun boys round and we're just like going out to like have some beers and have a good time.
That's my take. I feel like it's contextual. If you're playing the appropriate course, the appropriate time of day, the appropriate group, let the tunes fly. Who gives a shit? It's fun. And again, not putting anyone on blast, but when we go out sometimes on the boys trip and we are paying $250 a round and it took us a long time to get those tee times, had to match it up, and we're out there fucking gooning, like not jizzing, but just like playing incredibly. It's embarrassing. I'm like, this is not like I'm getting older. I'm like, I don't like it.
And also I will say if you have music, and I think courses are coming around to this because there are younger golfers getting in the game that like to have their Bluetooth speaker. And there's also older golfers that like to have Bluetooth speakers as well.
Oh yeah. The amount of times I've been at TV and it's like going to tee off. She's my cherry pie. Like it's fucking every time.
And so that's what I'm saying is like, you got to have the volume. Like if you can hear it across the fairway, it's too loud.
Yeah.
It should be in your cart for you. And everybody's got different music tastes, and that's fine. A lot of people have fucking shit music taste. I hate hearing fucking country.
Oh, Grateful Dead.
I hate hearing fucking country blaring on the course. Because country music sucks, especially modern country music. It's fucking just bad.
Stadium country, yeah.
Yeah, stadium country is just
disgusting.
Terrible. And if I have to hear that from the next hole over, like that's one of those external things that makes me mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't mind Bluetooth speakers, but like have some etiquette.
Okay, we're the same.
Yeah.
We're the same. All right, what's your last one?
Last one. This is a golf memory, but big Canadian wins. Like it's just nice to see a Canadian come out.
Mike Weir, baby.
Mike Weir at the Masters and Nick Taylor at the Canadian Open.
Okay, I've nothing to add. I am Team Canada as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I will do a little Canadiana bets, make the cut, do a hole in one-y. But yeah, I feel like I don't know if we're handcuffed here. I feel like guys that are good enough, they go down to Q school, they play the fucking, what do they call it, the corn cob circuit.
Corn Ferry Tour. Yeah.
I know. I like the corn cob circuit.
It does sound way better. It's get more viewers in.
Yeah, they can go down and play every day if they want to. Like it's not like they have to play up here. But yeah, it absolutely fucking rips. Yeah, it feels good.
It's nice when we've got a shorter golf season.
Yeah.
And once you get good enough, and now sim golf has kind of changed that a little bit, but it's not the same as the real thing. As you get good enough, you are invited to colleges and stuff like that, and you're probably playing all the time in the U.S. But in Canada, like your opportunity to play is 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get there. It's hard to get to the point where the door is open to play year round.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, sim golf does not translate. I was ripping it up at Wiz recently, and I went to the range today, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about this. There's not a 3/4 inch piece of plywood bouncing my club back up into contact. Like if I hit the turf, it means something out here. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Well, hey, this is not the end of the episode. This ain't the end by a mile, motherfuckers.
This is like the halfway point.
This is the halfway house. Let's get a
Grab
couple
your
glizzies.
glizzies.
Yeah. Oh my god, get out of my head. I'm looking forward to this. I think this is gonna work. I feel like this is gonna be a cool idea.
All right. Well, let's take it away, and we'll pick it up on Sunday.
See you Sunday.
Or in your case, as the listener, like 2 seconds from now.
Yeah. This is. Yeah. Holy shit.
Hello, friends. A day of Masters watch. Rory just won it like
He just won
10 minutes ago.
on the championship playoff hole 18 against Justin Rose. What a fucking dramedy that entire
That was
day
like the most intense round of golf I've ever watched.
I was trying to explain it to my wife, and I wasn't mansplaining. I really wasn't. I wasn't coming from a place of like, you don't get it. But we are talking about a guy that we're cheering for. We were admittedly a little Team Rory.
Yeah.
He's vying to become the 6th person ever to hit that Grand Slam.
Yeah.
So join an elite group of players.
Like the best to ever play the game.
And he starts with a 2-stroke lead against Bryson DeChambeau, who is a competitor.
Yeah.
And within the first 2 holes, they're tied. In fact, within the first 2 holes, Bryson
took
leads.
the lead. Yeah.
And then, like, from that point on, it's just pure theatrics. I'm so hyped up.
Back and forth. And then Bryson, he fell apart on the back nine. He had 2 water balls on the back nine. He was not relevant. But then you had Justin Rose, who made a huge push, and that's who Rory was playing against in the playoff. It was, I mean, even if you don't like golf, like that was just drama.
And it's CBS. They're like the 70-year broadcaster, but they did a good job. I had no idea Justin Rose, this would be now his 3rd time finishing 2nd, including in 2017, a playoff round.
Yeah, he was the last one to lose in a playoff. The last playoff involved him, and he lost to Sergio Garcia.
What a fucking legacy. Okay, we got to back it up. Did Sunday deliver, or did Sunday deliver?
I mean, that was incredible.
That was one of the best afternoons of my whole entire life.
There was, sometimes these rounds, like, a guy can run away with it, or, the guy you're expecting just falls apart, and it's like, and then somebody just ends up winning it because they just played decent golf. But it was like Rory had these amazing holes. He had these fall apart holes. It was like, I think I said 5 times throughout the day, I was like, this is the dagger. And then he would somehow like screw it up.
He started 12 under, and he had a double bogey and a bogey on the front 9.
Yeah, so he's down to 9 under after 3 holes?
Yep, and then he ended up bringing it back to, at the turn, 9 holes, he was 14 under par, looking like the end of the tournament.
He was like 4 shots up at one point.
Yeah, and then, like I said, cue drama.
Yeah,
just can't hold on to it.
No, and Justin Rose, to his credit, also like he got a couple nice birdies in there and got his score down. And yeah, it was just like you're watching. Justin Rose was 3 or 4 holes ahead.
I think 3 holes ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he's like sitting on the practice range warming up because he might be in this playoff. Rory drains the birdie, so it looks like Rory's going to win it. He just has to par the last hole, and he had a great opportunity to do so and just missed it. And then it was like, oh my God. It was like shades of the U.S. Open last year.
Shane at the very 8:08 this morning texted me. He's like, so does Rory blow up today, or what are we going to witness? And I was like, no way, he's fucking got it. And he did both. He basically did half of the holes amazingly well, to win the Masters, and he did half of what the fuck is happening. He hit the water.
Yeah, it was almost like looking at an amateur scorecard, except instead of if it was me out there playing, it's not like birdies and bogeys, it's like pars and doubles or triples. But his roller coaster was just, it was like, what golfer are we getting on this hole? Not just today. What Rory is showing up on this tee box. It was wild.
My God, cheers to us.
Cheers to us. And we've been drinking and eating all day.
You've kept it pretty conservative.
I haven't had too many drinks. This is
Yeah.
only maybe my third drink.
I've done the opposite. I called my shot. I
You
called
did.
my shot. I was
You
like,
did.
I'm
You're
drinking
like, my
hole for
wife's
hole.
coming to pick up the vehicle.
She's driving the truck home. She asked me, she's like, are you driving? And I was like, what?
Do drinking and driving laws still exist? 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah.
I did a 2-6 pre-made mojito.
You did. I had like a half glass of that.
Oh, this is the best day of my life.
We had some hot dogs. Sean showed up with some sushi.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, I'm gonna bring sushi, and I was like, I just ate 2 hot dogs, but yeah, I'll eat sushi, and I had a full plate of sushi.
Yeah, I
too.
told him, I was like, no, we're good. We got glizzies here. And you're like, no.
bring the sushi.
We talking sashimi? Oh, my God. All right. Like I said.
I mean, it's crazy. We just watched history.
definitely.
It's only happened 5 times prior to this. We just watched history. This could go another 20 years before that happens again, if ever. Like.
And 11-year absence from a major championship for there's the booze. For Rory McIlroy, the easiest name to say. So last win is in 2014, comes on top. That was cool. It was cool to watch history. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
How'd
Lots
the
of
bets
drama.
do?
I did not win any of my bets. I actually came pretty close though. Like I had I said, I think in the previous recording, that I thought Rory was the guy to win. And I had Rory, Lowry, and Morikawa all to finish top 10. And going in today, that was looking great. Like Lowry was in 5th place, I think, or 6th place. Morikawa was just outside the top 10. I was like, okay, and obviously Rory was leading. So I was like, okay, well, this is a very good chance of hitting. And then Lowry was like 4 over today. Morikawa just kind of sat still. So, and then I had outright winners. I had Tommy Fleetwood, who he made the cut, but he fell apart over the weekend. Really wasn't a factor. And then I had Bryson to win it. And he, as we said, fell apart, but he was right there too.
Based on first name only, that was a bad bet.
We've been, for listeners, we've been having a lot of conversations about what a terrible name Bryson is.
All right, I'm gonna try.
For the record, I don't hate the name.
I'm gonna try to articulate this. Sean started out pretty hot, being like, "Well, I just can't condone anyone winning the Masters named Bryson."
Yeah.
He's like, that's like a real Caden, Hayden, Aiden. Like, it's a real throwaway fucking stupid name. He said other things.
Things we can't repeat.
He said other things about the name Bryson, but it kind of became a running joke that, like, messing up, doing something stupid, you're being Bryson.
It was a Bryson, yeah.
Yeah, and so and then of course he hits the water on I think it was 11.
Yeah,
and then
that
again
was the
on
first one, 16.
16. And so we're saying bad things. We're saying poor things about the name Bryson. And then Dex just casually was like, "Yeah, that was a top tier baby name choice for us."
Yeah, like if we had boys, one of them could have been named Bryson.
Bryson Dunford. Yeah.
It doesn't sound great when you say it out loud.
Not anymore. Not
No,
anymore.
no.
Maybe 1 hour ago. Because I had Bryson, DeChambeau, and I had Rory in my 5 on Bet365. But I don't know what happened. I just couldn't internet. So I went through. You sent me the link. I got the $5 promo, and I was like, hell yeah! Like, I'm gonna put my team together. And I actually had some hot picks. So like I said, you basically get a salary. You get $62,000. Or at least for this specific bet that I was placing, you get a salary of $62,000, and then each player costs so much money.
Yeah.
And your top tier players are 11 grand, 12 grand. They take up a bunch of it.
Yeah.
And then you have to round out your team. But I ended up with McIlroy, ended up with DeChambeau. I don't think I had Corey Connors. I think I went Spieth. I was trying to get some Canadian content. Who also had like a kind of like an unbelievable tournament, but a really bad Sunday. Corey Connors,
the rough Sunday for him. He just couldn't putt.
Yeah, it just went cold. But I couldn't place my bet. I went to go do it. I went to go verify my identity, and it gave me a gray box. And so I don't know if it was like Yahweh or Allah or whomever, but someone intervened. Someone intervened. It was like, this guy does not need online gambling in his life.
I mean, probably for the better in the long run.
Yeah, it's too easy. Too easy to make horrible bets. But I feel like I would have done well.
You probably would have cashed, because I cashed and I had like Rory, Lowry, Morikawa, Jaeger, like nobody that really got in that top. But if you've got the winner, you're at least pretty much going to cash.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. I made $20.
Hell yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
You and Rory getting paid today.
Yeah, he's getting paid significantly more, like notably more money than I am.
So it's a $20 million purse. How much does first take?
I think I saw it was like 2.8 million or something.
That's it?
Masters is actually like a relatively smaller purse
Oh, so it's
compared
like
to some of these other big tournaments.
it's the flex of like you
It's-
won Augusta.
Yeah, you
I
won a
mean,
major.
2.8 mil is not something to scoff at, but I
No.
feel like there's much bigger purses out there.
Yeah, I think some of the keep in mind it's not a PGA sanctioned event, right? So it's the Augusta National is putting up the purse, and so they don't have all the sponsorships of the PGA throughout the year and that kind of stuff. It's like no, this incredibly wealthy golf course is putting up the prize pool, and it's not like other courses you go to where you see like advertisements everywhere. Like Augusta National keeps it pretty clean. So I think they're really dipping into their own pot of money for that.
That was the thing. You're like watching the Masters, and the majority of ads were like, "Watch the Masters," and you're like, "I fucking am."
I'm doing it right
what
now.
are you talking about? And the other half was Carney commercials.
Carney with Mike Myers, and then like
we were obviously
really,
on TSN, right?
yeah, and then like
Canadian
really
broadcast.
high end luxury items, like Rolexes, Mercedes, and I was like, who like. How many people? How many people are even in a financial position to even think about buying a Rolex? And then how many of those are actually like watching golf? Like this is gonna sway me.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I think that goes back to the meme of like being naked on your couch watching the Masters, and someone bogeys, and you're like, "Oh, it's embarrassing for them," I'm certainly not watching the Masters and being like, I should get a Rolex.
Yeah. Oh, like I had never thought of that before. I think I'll go out and get one. Yeah.
I should vote Carney.
Mike Myers is great.
Yeah, I loved him in Austin Powers.
Honestly.
Yeah, there was. Oh, yeah, great movie.
Shrek.
Yeah.
Not so good as Elon Musk on SNL.
What's the one he did? The Love Guru. That was kind of like the end for me.
That was sort of like, it feels like that happens with comedic actors a lot. Is like they just like they hit this like echelon that very few will ever touch.
Yeah,
and then they take on some movie. A studio's probably offered them like $100 million to do it, and it's an absolute dog shit movie. And then it's like, yeah, you're done.
Yeah, money gets in the way, right?
I think so, and you ruin your reputation.
They did 3 Austin Powers. The second one was fantastic.
Second one was probably the best.
Yeah. And then the third one was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. It was still decent, but yeah, then it was like, and here's the Love Guru.
Oh, I could do a whole podcast on that movie. Not right now, because I've had so many mojitos and
our
so
next
many
episode.
transfusions.
Next episode is Mike Myers' career breakdown.
I'm struggling to even. I don't know how these guys golf that 18. Like, I don't know how Rory drank as much as we did today and still finished that way.
He was smashing protein drinks and protein bars.
Do you think dudes ever drink at the Masters?
John Daly.
Okay. Do you think dudes other than him?
Probably not.
Like, it's not a norm. Like, that's
No, you know what? Okay, I say probably not. Statistically, there has to be at least one alcoholic in the field who like literally cannot function without like, a screwdriver for breakfast.
I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying like
I'm
there's
saying
a guy who's like his life is in turmoil. I'm just saying like, is there a dude who's like, I don't have a chance to win, so I'm gonna get some glizzies at the turn. I'm gonna do some corn nuts. I'm gonna do 4 Bud Light. Like, is that okay? Like, is there a guy teeing up his shot and he's like, where's the cart girl?
I mean, he's probably got to have it in his water bottle or whatever. Like, you got to come prepared. I don't think they're serving you on the course.
So we talked about being this elite level performer and like having the world by the nuts. I feel like if you're golfing the Masters and you're making the cut, like if you ask for a G&T, you're getting it.
You think so?
Why not?
I guess like there's so many things we don't see. Like, who knows? Maybe a couple guys are like getting a drink off camera, right?
Yeah.
Because like there's that controversy from I think it was the Thursday round, the first round, where like the amateur golfer from Spain pissed in Ray's Creek.
I actually didn't hear about this. You told me about this.
Nobody knew about it until like it kind of came up, and like some patrons were like talking about like, Yeah, this guy like just dropped trout and pissed in the creek while he's waiting for his group to finish.
Which in a normal round,
You piss wherever you can.
the world is my toilet.
Yeah.
When I'm on the golf course.
But there's something about like just dropping trout and pissing on Augusta National in a creek that they've named.
It's a boss move.
And he owned it too. He's like, yeah, dude, like you got pissed.
Or it's like a Spanish thing.
Yeah. Just treat the world as your dumpster.
They love golden showers. Yeah, these Spaniards. Actually, you know what? Not to throw shade on the Spanish, but when I was going through my Bet365, John Ram came up, and I was like, ugh.
He played decent over the weekend, but he was so far back that there was no hope for him.
I had no reason why. I was just like, what? Spain? It's not us. It's not Ireland.
You know
It's
who
not
came out of
Northern
nowhere?
Ireland.
You know who came out of nowhere?
Who?
Patrick Reed, who we were talking shit about in.
Your body double.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. He gives me hope.
That is what you said.
Yeah.
I wasn't just throwing that out there. You were like, I used to cheer for him because I was like, oh, a guy like me can be the best in the world, right?
Like you don't have to be this physical specimen.
Yeah, yeah.
Bryson DeChambeau like doing 370 practice shots before his round.
Oh, imagine if he won the dinner he would have hosted. Right?
So I was telling you about like somebody shared that on Instagram.
We were shitting on Scheffler's like, oh, dino fries, like, oh, dino nuggies, smiley fries, like total idiot. And then like, yeah, what is DeChambeau picking? He's like, all right, everyone gets
A protein shake.
Everyone gets water and creatine as they're happy. You get a Cliff Bar next. What a dickhead! I've never taken so much enjoyment, I guess I'll say, as watching the wheels come off his game. I don't know why. I have no reason to dislike him. I just feel like he's a bit of like he's a big content creator, but he kind of does lean like GOP mega type stuff, and he's also like as a young golfer, he was kind of like a whiny baby tantrum guy. Like he's just never been anyone I was like, oh, I like him.
I always got the feeling that he's one of those guys that thinks he's smarter than everyone. Like he's that person that's like, I'm the smartest person in the room. And he took physics in university and stuff, and he's like, I remember the big thing is he came out and played the single length irons with the different lofts. And he was like, the loft does the work. It's not the length of the iron. It's like, well, every other golfer in the world is playing different length irons. You're just changing the lofts. Like, of course it's going to make a difference, but like, you think that you're smarter than everybody else because of that?
He's the one dude who figured it out.
Yeah.
None of you guys know golf.
And single length irons were more popular in like the 70s. And like, I remember Cobra had to release a set of single length irons because when he started to get popular, people wanted single length irons. But it was like the only ones that were on the market was because they're his sponsor.
So what's the idea? You have a consistent swing and the loft just does the rest?
Yeah.
Well, we did not see that today, Bryson.
No, he was hooking them bad.
Yeah, every single one. That was his problem. So he's got this, I took physics. I've got this huge long drive, but I have no idea what I'm doing from the fairway, which again is hilarious because like I can't break 110. So like, what the fuck am I talking about? But yeah, very unlikable character, and was excited to see him lose the way he lost today.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
So any last thoughts about the Masters?
No, I mean, other than it absolutely delivered.
Yeah.
I really built this Sunday up. I was like, I'm going to get the kids here. They're going to play. They're all going to do well. They both shit their pants. There's some big accidents today. But I think I said in our first lead up to this the first half of the episode, I was like, there's something about it. There's this electricity. And every time Rory hit the ball, I was holding my breath.
Yeah.
And you brought up Reed. He I think it was on 16 or 17.
17.
He dunked it in 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, and that changed everything. Justin Rose, he started at 5 under today.
Made a huge run.
He started at 5 under today, and he hit all but one bird on the back nine to tie McIlroy, and was in contention to win the Masters for the 3rd time. That is absolute. Like, you can't write that.
Oh, I was telling Alicia this morning, I was like, the fact that you've got Rory and Bryson in the final group, it's like somebody scripted it. Like, it almost makes me believe that this is all fixed. Just because it couldn't have played out more perfect than that.
It delivered it. So I had the best time. It was cool dressing up.
We're both wearing the Magnolia fits.
I don't know where my glove went. I finally ditched that. Oh no, I got it here. I got my,
You were wearing the golf
I've been
glove
wearing my
all day.
golf glove all day, except for the diaper changes. I
Yeah.
definitely decided that was a no-go
Well,
zone.
you got to have your feel. It's like when you're putting, you got to take your glove off to putt.
Yeah. I needed to know what was going on with all that doo-doo. No, it was fantastic. Great host, Thanks for all that you do. How about you? What's the takeaway?
Like,
What surprised you today? There were some funny moments for sure.
I was surprised at McElroy's inconsistency. And like I said, it felt like he had it locked up at multiple points in that round. So it was a little surprising that, he still pulled it out and I'm happy, but it was like, holy fuck, is he going to blow this again? Is he going to blow it like he did with the US Open last year? Like, there's just that kind of stuff, but amazing watch. I watched all day yesterday with a brief reprieve to go to Costco, but like it was entertaining from beginning to end.
The 18th hole where he goes in the bunker on 2 and you're like, he's just got to go up and down. And then he's got an 8-foot putt and it's not even close.
Yeah. And I don't even know if it was 8 feet.
Was it closer?
I feel like it might've been even a little closer, but yeah, he kind of just pulled it a little bit.
There were so many moments like that today where I was like, no fucking way. No fucking way.
And I was when he hit that bunker, cause you don't have much room in that bunker on those like quick greens, there's no room to work with.
That's what they said. You get one bounce.
Yeah. And Oberg, the group in front of him, had just made a triple.
He was 9 under.
Yeah, in that bunker, Oberg made a triple because he put it over the green and then he shot back onto the green, went too far, and then he was like 2 or 3 putts to get in. And it was like, oh my God, is he going to do what Oberg did? Like, we were watching Rose practicing, and I was like, there's a chance that Rose could win this without having to step back onto the course.
Okay, there was a funny thing. Watching Rose go from the 18th to like continue to stay warm, hit the range, and then like there's people there watching him.
Watching him warm up, there's like 10 people.
And we were laughing. We're like, what?
Yeah, like there's potentially history happening on the 18th hole right now, and you're watching Justin Rose hit practice shots. And I know, like,
but then he came back. Then he came back and got to play in the championship.
Yeah,
on the playoffs. Sorry.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm sure one was his wife and one was his mom, I think. But like, I'm like, what are the rest of these people doing? Like, are they just huge Justin Rose fans?
Came all the way to Georgia.
Yeah,
See my boy.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot of those moments from Rory where he's like, oh, he's cinched it, oh, he's tossed it.
Yeah,
like it was. Oh, yeah. What'd you say? What are my final thoughts? What a roller coaster.
And it was exciting right up to the end.
Yeah, I actually don't have like a lot to say. One, because of the booze I've consumed today, and 2, because I'm just like, yeah, what a ride. Like I feel rinsed. I feel like I just did something. Like
Well, we did eat a lot of hot dogs and drink booze.
Yeah, that was a great day. That's fantastic.
Great Sunday. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for coming over and sharing in this special day with me.
Yeah.
And thanks, Rory, for making us look kind of smart.
Yeah, thanks, Rory. Did we call that? Did you say it?
I think I said he was my favorite, yeah.
Oh, man. What's coming? Hold on. We're going to end, but like what's coming up?
Canadian election.
Oh,
you're going to be gone.
That's my birthday. The election's on my birthday. Carney did that for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a cool thing that he did. No, I will be in town. I'll be here for it.
Okay.
But we are missing, I believe, the Hubtown Showdown.
Well, my cousin's getting married that weekend, so I'm not going to the Hubtown Showdown. But that's fine. Nobody needed... I didn't really write anything, so I was like... Well, probably because I knew I wasn't going, so I was like... I would be woefully underprepared.
Do you know if your like vote count stays, or do you have to basically take a 0 moving forward for this round?
I think obviously I'd probably take a 0 for this round.
Interesting. All right.
So, I'm going to fall behind the pack a little bit maybe.
Okay, we'll keep you updated.
Yeah. But you know what? I'll be there for the May one.
Yeah.
And I'll just have to rack up some more points. I better write a really fucking good bit.
You heard it here first. Don't be a Rory. Don't be a Bryson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give up the lead. Yeah.
Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I need a water. I'm out of here.
All right. Bye.
Bye.